Hey y'all, this is Miss Caramel and
Mr. Ivory.
And we're Education for Real. Ask the teacher. We want you to put your comments in below. We just want to talk about current issues in education and in the world that affect us as educators and affect us as we try to help children. You know, issues that affect children.
And inform you about education and rulings and things like that.
Right. So like Ebony and Ivory, but you know, I'm a little bit more caramel, so Caramel, he's still Ivory. Okay, so our topic for today, I'm trying to leave that so we can find the time. Okay, one of the first topics we want to talk about is our lovely, wonderful leader in the Federal Education Department, Betsy DeVos. What's going on with her? Well, she appeared before the House Committee on Education and the Workforce, and she was questioned by Adriano Espaillat, a Democratic representative from New York, about what she thought about schools' role regarding ICE, the immigration issue, and
here's what she said. Sir, I think that's a school decision. That's a local community decision. And again, I refer to the fact that we have laws and we're also compassionate. And I urge this body to do its job and address or clarify where there's confusion around this. And what she's trying to do is...
Well, you see my face was all tore up while he was talking. Boo! What she's trying to do is make teachers become snitches. She wants us to have the quote-unquote right to, or the privilege of turning in children or to choose not to turn in children.
If we feel they're undocumented.
If we feel that... What?
Or that there's evidence that they're undocumented.
Yeah, but that's not the role of educators is to educate children, to nurture them, to take care of them, to help them become productive citizens for our future.
Right.
The policing of children to say whether they should or should not be in school, as a matter of fact, has been completely taken, you know, that's been taken off of us, that we don't have the onus on that. We're not supposed to have that responsibility. You know, it becomes...
And it's also a constitutional violation,
Exactly.
believe, to report children.
And a conflict of interest. I'm trying to get you to come to school to help my enrollment numbers be good and keep, you know, have a diverse community in my school system, in my school. And why would I want to get rid of children?
And every child has the basic right to education, regardless if they're undocumented or not.
Yes.
So basically, that's a clear violation of the U.S. Constitution. So again, she's wrong about, you know, that we should be able to report them to ICE and all this kind of things.
And I just can't believe, I know that so many of our brothers and sisters have different opinions on one side or the other, whether, you know, they should be in the school or not. But this is, I believe a teacher's role is as it's really as a ministry. That's what I believe. We're there to nurture and help children. And if we don't see that as our number one role to help children, because number one, you can't teach them anything if they think you don't care about them. If they're nervous and scared, thinking that you're going to report them, they're not going to come to school. They're not going to hear anything that we want to say. They're not going to remember anything. They're not going to learn anything from us.
Right. Okay, next point. Alabama Governor Kay Ivey wants school principals and other administrators to be able to access a weapon stored on campus.
And on their person.
It's called a school sentry program.
Yes, and they want administrators like principals, assistant principals. I don't know anybody with an administrative certification in the building.
The AP has reported that it will allow administrators in school that do not have a law enforcement officer on campus to access a weapon kept in a fingerprint-controlled safe.
So if there's not a school resource officer there, you don't really need the weapon? What if you want to have the weapon with the school resource? You have double protection.
Yeah.
That sounds good, right? Double the amount of weapons on campus?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's so crazy. We're just opening Pandora's box for these weapons in school.
And apparently the word sentry means like...
The protector.
Protector safety.
Yeah, the protector safety. Like, if there's not a school resource officer in lieu of the school resource officer, come on, principal. You get the... do they get training?
Yeah,
We
it
don't-
does say Alabama Law Enforcement Agency will oversee training. So, but it's voluntary.
Voluntary.
At least we can say
Okay.
it's voluntary. So that's another
See how that goes.
biggie on the news. Okay.
Now, what else? Okay, we talked about Ivy. We talked about police in the school. Back to that issue. You know, have we seen some of the recent videos on YouTube and even on Facebook and in the news in general where children have been housed in cages with like just sleeping cot mats and separated from their
Talking
parents?
about these immigrant children.
The immigrant children, yes. And even now they're having to, these Border Patrol officers are having to have access to things like formula, baby formula, because they're taking the babies off of the mother, like less than 1 year old even, less than 2 year old
They're having
even.
to feed them.
And they take the baby away from the parents, the mother, start going through the process of prosecuting the mother for coming here illegally, and have the child separate. Now, they've got to feed these babies. They don't have any training on. Oh yes, one of our. This was a big debate in Congress. One of our senators was asking, like, what's the training manual on getting these officers prepared to handle children?
Yeah.
Because usually, even when in the representative, the person kept on saying, the person over rounding them up kept saying, well, in America, every day we separate children from parents when we arrest them. And
Talking about ICE?
Yes, the leader of ICE. It's a female now, a Caucasian female. I can't remember her name right now.
I don't know.
But anyway, she was saying that we separate children from their families every day in America when parents break the rules or disobey laws,
Right.
and that's true. But those officers are trained. Usually, they have social workers come in,
Right.
separate them from
There's
their
more,
families.
support.
There's more support. They take them to the foster care, center to house them, and they have a list of parents that have been approved and trained to keep minors. These ICE officers and Border Patrol officers haven't been trained on what to do for like child psychology or safety or to help keep these children, safe physically and mentally.
Right.
But anyway, I guess they don't really deserve all of those supports because they're here illegally. They should just sleep on the cots and the mats and, be in cages, lock cages.
So why do they separate the families?
Well, they're saying that the first law is that the parent has broken the law by entering into the country illegally. So the child has no power over their decision.
Right.
So they start the prosecutorial process of punishing these parents or trying to hold them accountable
by taking them away
to put them in the the legal system. Now, once they find out, like, oh yeah, they really do need asylum. Maybe they are escaping some type of mental issues, or maybe they're being the drug dealers are forcing them to do something against their will, or maybe political asylum. Maybe they are they need political asylum. So all of these things